Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what you saying, people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Like always, guys, any pairs you're looking at, feel free to let us know in the chat. Any trades looking to take, any pairs taking your fancy, let us know, discuss, share, thoughts, opinions, analysis, all that good stuff. If you're looking to join my Telegram channel, I do have one link in the description to that. I post my setups, my watch list, and videos there. So yeah, make sure you go and check that out if you want to. Links to that in the description, also at the top of the chat. And if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link there to IC Markets. Feel free to go and check that broker if you want. Had no issues past 2 years, so if you are looking for a broker, feel free to go and check out IC Markets. But yeah, guys, welcome to the stream. I hope everyone is doing well. Hey, welcome, Ahmed. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Intiga, have I said that right? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Any pairs you're looking at, feel free to let us know. We'll take a look. But yeah, so I was in this CAD, pound CAD trade yesterday, but I have exited more or less around break even for this one. Had a nice entry on Monday up there, stop loss above the high of that wick there. And I was looking for a push back down to these lows here. So I was looking for a push back down to those lows. However, you can see the market is starting to find support. So essentially yesterday I went to break even because we were having some news coming out for CAD. Excuse me. Some CPI for CAD. So I did want to go to break even because of that. It did hit my first target, which was this support here, coming into 1.55. So I did secure some nice partials from that area. But as you can see, the market has come back to my entry price there. So I'm out that position. I still do think price could roll over, but I'm not liking how we are respecting that support there. So well and truly, I kind of want to be out of the position anyway and see if I get another entry signal coming into the same resistance, because that's where I sold from. Form the resistance once, test it again, potentially looking to test it a third time. Do have a nice trend line coming through the market there. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3. Could be looking at a fourth test potentially of the trend line stroke slash that resistance there as well. If you can hold that, should be looking good again for price to roll over at least back into this support again. And if you can snap through that, we can probably go to 1.53 down there. So I'm still looking at the shorts for pound CAD. If you break above, that'll change my bias. Probably looking at longs to the opposite direction, back to these highs. Oh, let me actually get the watermark. My bad. Hey, welcome to the channel, Vendon. ADUSD, of course, we'll take a look. Yes, I'm doing well. Good, promise. Love to hear that. Any pairs you're looking at, feel free to share if you want to. No, Mummy, I'm Zulu, man. Thank you. Okay, no problem. I mean, if any pairs you want me to take a look at, I can definitely help you with that at least. But yeah, pound CAD's going to see what happens with this one, but yeah, unfortunately that trade there ended with break even, partial win. So yeah, I'll take a look at AUSD. Okay, so yeah, AUSD did not hold that level there, 0.7, big psychological level. Price is looking quite bearish. Again, it's the daily time frame. We still do have 11 hours and 45 minutes before this candle closes, and I do think, let me just go quickly check the the news for today, because I'm pretty sure we do have FOMC, which could be big for dollar. So we do have some news at 1:30 as usual, and then we do have FOMC at 7. So yeah, there's going to be some news for dollar. It'll be interesting to see how the dollar pairs react. But essentially yesterday what we were looking for is key support here, key support over there, broke above, see if we can hold that support to see a move to the upside for USD. at this 0.7 big psychological level. However, as you can see, it looks like the market is breaking through that area. Now, this is a daily area, so I'll wait for a daily candle closure above or below to identify a break or rejection from this level, because it is a daily level. So, this could end up like a wick and we could push through. So I'll wait for a daily candle closure to identify the breakout or not. But definitely in the 4H time frame, you have broken through. So AUSD, again, the market is still bearish for me overall. I'm still looking at us eventually returning back down to these lows here. I'm still looking for that to happen, but at the moment the market is still printing higher highs and higher lows, as you can see there. So I want to see if we can change structure up first before I start looking for sells. At the moment, I'm not really trying to do much with AUSD. If we can snap back above this area here and get back above that 0.7 zone, that could be a nice little buy there to take it back into this area of consolidation. That could be a nice buy if we can break through that structure, create some higher highs, look for that retest / higher low formation, and then you can get some buys into that next kind of psychological target of 0.71, which is kind of in the middle of that range there. So we didn't get a break and retest at that level, so we could come back and revisit as well. So yeah, AUSD for me, I'm not trying to do anything. We're kind of dancing around that key psychological level of 0.7. I'd rather wait for a daily close to see if we can break through it or not, to confirm the breakout or not. If we do come back above, daily doesn't close below, and we can see a break of structure, something like that, and yeah, I'll be favouring buys back up into that area there at 0.71, just playing the psychological levels. But yeah, at the moment everything's looking quite bearish. We could just come back down, respect the support and then go bullish again, but I'd rather wait for that daily candle closure. So for AUSD, nothing much here right now. The market is very bearish. If you're not really selling, you kind of don't want to be jumping into the market right now, and anything buys are not looking ready just yet either. So I'd wait for something like that to happen and take some buys into 0.71. Other than that, I'll probably just wait to see as daily candle closure. Because if you can pull back and form a nice wick, that tells us that, okay, from a daily perspective, we're holding this support. So we know for the rest of the week at least, or the next couple of days, we'll be looking for buyers to take this a lot higher. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, hopefully that made sense there for AUSD. Morning, Craig Butler. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Hey, Mahmood, welcome to the stream. Can you take a look at your JPY? Of course, we'll have a look. I'm selling US 30 from resistance. Okay. Daily resistance. Okay, we'll have a look at US 30. I was talking about US 30 a little bit yesterday. Euro G. I thought you meant Euro Pound there. Euro GBP has come out negative just now. Good time to short Euro USD now, or should you wait for news today? Again, it's up to you. How many pips you're looking for that Euro USD short? You're looking to catch the next swing, 100, 200 pips, or you're just looking to capture, a small amount of pips, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40 pips. It depends really on that, to be fair, because if you're looking for a bigger swing, 100 to 200 pips, you probably want to wait for after news today, later today. But if you're looking to catch small amount of pips, day trading, intraday trading, even scalping, then you can sure take advantage of that and be done with, way before the news comes out. Come into New York session potentially, take advantage of 10, 20, 30, 40 pips, and then go again tomorrow really. So it depends what you're looking for. I'll go to Euro USD in a bit more detail in a second. Euro JPY. Looking for 50, 60 bit. Yeah, I'll take a look at Euro JPY in a second. Okay, Euro JPY. So Euro JPY is interesting. We've seen some strong upside, especially for a lot of the JPY pairs, which is why I wasn't very 100% on shorting them, even though we did have bearish structure in place. Euro JPY, we've seen some upside, nothing too crazy though, because we've still got these low highs, respected. Price hasn't really, well, not respected, but they're still intact. Price hasn't taken them out. So with Euro JPY, I'm kind of just waiting really, because we could be forming a lower high. We could still be forming a lower high to come back down, but like I said, I'm not convinced just yet. If we can break back below this structure here, that would be nice. Break back below that, something like this, and then we use that as resistance. That would be a nice sell off there, because we've got that prior low, form that low, we pull back, form a lower high, break below that structure again. From that, we could do a nice sell off. If not, we could come back and respect this and start changing trends potentially, because the higher time frame trend for pretty much all these JPY pairs is still to the upside. And predominantly speaking, higher time frame trends normally always win. Obviously, eventually they have to reverse, so eventually they will be wrong. But the high time frame trend is still intact. It still looks good. I'm still favouring long term Euro JPY to head to the upside, which is why I'm still a bit cautious shorting Euro JPY, despite we do have bearish structure in place. So you can look for shorts up here, anticipate the next lower high forming. Slightly bit more aggressive, the more conservative entry would be waiting for the break of this support there, and then you can use that as resistance, and then you got a nice push, back down to these lows at least, and then potentially these lows all the way down there as well. So that will be a really nice, more conservative trade. But if you fail to break through this support again, that shows me that the buyers are taking back control, and we could be seeing a bigger move to the upside. So with Euro JPY, the structure is still bearish, so still favouring the shorts. If we take out this structure here on the left, that will show me that the buyers are back in control. From that, I'll be looking for price to push a lot higher. But yeah, as for now, still shorts, bit aggressive up here, bit more conservative if you wait for the break of 136.4, retest it, and then some shorts to the downside. So yeah, hopefully that made sense there for Euro JPY. US 30, so yeah, US 30 is still trading at that area. We did see a bit of a push to the upside yesterday, which is this key level here. So really key level of support resistance, as you can see. Really nice area of support there, resistance there, support there, resistance. And it's a nice little psychological level of 34 as well. So very, very key level in the market. And now we're coming back into this head-on into this level. So, and we also had this trend line confluence, which we may have just slightly creeped above, as you can see. But we could easily come back below that trend line if we do see another bearish close back below. So that's what I'm looking at for US 30. If we're going to form the next lower high, because the major structure is high up there, second high, are we going to form that third lower high? We could do. For me, I'll be waiting to see what we do in the 4H stroke hourly to see if we can break structure. Yesterday I was talking about if we can break structure, and then we can look for some sells. We didn't quite break out this consolidation, so the market just kept flying. If we can break through the consolidation, break through, retest, form some lower highs, we can take advantage of some nice sells there, and really roll this one over. But if you just talk in terms of daily and daily resistance, it's a great area, potential lower high formation, strong level, nice side level as well. So you do have a lot of confluences in your favor. And yeah, if we can hold that, shorts do look good. So yeah, I do agree with you there, Craig, but I just need to see if we can hold that resistance. Okay, so I'll have a look at Euro USD. Okay, where's USD? Okay, so yeah, Euro USD. So yeah, this one we had a pretty steep decline Monday. Yesterday didn't do too much. This is doji. Well, not really doji, but small body candle with wicks to either side. So yeah, with this one, again, well, I don't really trade news by itself, so I'm predominantly technical. So whatever the news says, I'm always going to look to do what the technicals say. If the fundamentals line up with the technicals, fantastic. If they don't, I'm still going to go with the technicals. with that. But at the moment, we've had a pretty big move to the upside. Price did break through this resistance here, but again, it turned out to be a bit of a false breakout. Price just pushed straight through this level here, as you can see, and price came straight back down. So for me, this is a very, very textbook false breakout off the back of news. Huge move to the upside, respected the highs, came back down. So essentially, we're coming back down to the lows of the range, and we have seen a bit of a push. So and I was talking about 50% of the range around about here, saying that would be a good target to push the trade into. Kind of just missed it by a few pips there. Nice push to the upside, almost hit 50%. So that would be a nice like intraday kind of scalp sort of trade. But yeah, if you're looking to short Euro USD, I would wait for a move higher first. I would wait for a move at least into this area here. So 1.02454. I'll wait for at least a move into that, or for price to break through this and short to the downside. Let me see pip wise. Okay, that's about a 70 pip move. And you said you're looking for about 50, 60. I mean, it is about 50 pips into the low there, but I just wouldn't short into the low of the range. Again, you can anticipate weakness in the euro because of the news, but from a technical point of view, it doesn't quite agree. Reason being, this is the low of the range. You can see how many wicks prices placed into this area. This is not a good area to short into. This is where the buyers are lurking, trying to drive price higher. Sellers will be lurking, on the other side of this 50%. This is all sellers territory. This is all buyers territory, really, in the range. So I don't really want to be looking for sells in this area. I mean, a push into 50%. So if you see another push into around here, and we start struggling, then yeah, you might be able to catch 50, 60 pips from that drop there. At least you're shorting from the middle of the range. But yeah, in this area, I wouldn't personally short. Again, it could work. The fundamentals could kick in and drive price lower, but I'm just saying the technicals, from my analysis anyway, don't quite match up. So I wouldn't take the short. If we were to push up a little bit higher first, for whatever reason, then up here would be a much better place to short into this resistance there. The 4H or even better into the high of the zone, and then definitely most likely be able to catch 50, 60 pips from this level to the middle of the range, almost 50 there. And then if you short from the high of the range, you got 70 pips there. So yeah, I'd wait for a move higher. But again, it's up to you how you want to trade that. I just wouldn't look to short Euro USD right now. I'm not saying that it won't work and we won't head lower. I'm just saying that because it's in the buyer's territory. So I would avoid selling in this area. You can even see from a daily perspective, all these wicks, not the best place for that. So yeah, I'm not saying that we can't go lower, but I'm just saying I wouldn't short that because of where we are. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, we'll take a look at USD Cad. But yeah, for Euro USD, personally, I would wait for a move higher first into this level here at 1.02 or into that zone at 1.02700. And then from there as well, I like to take shorts. And that's kind of what I'm looking at for Euro USD. Back into the lows of the range as the target. But yeah, USD Cad. So USD Cad, we had price roll over to the downside. Price was looking pretty bearish at one point after that kind of very impulsive view that we had on Monday. Again, the market still held that daily resistance, so I'm still bearish on USD Cad. Very, very simple. If the market can stay respecting that level, I'm bearish, looking for a push to 1.26. If we do break through this resistance here, then we could go a lot higher and potentially, back into highs up here. And we do have this nice little zone there we can trade to, nice little range. If we break through into that area there, and then highs of that wick up there as well. So with USD Cad, I've got my kind of highs and lows mapped out. If we do sell off, 1.26 is where I'm looking. If we do push up, 1.305 and 1.322. However, we're still below that resistance, so I'm still favoring the shorts and still looking for us to push lower back down to 1.26. So the way I'm going about USD Cad is to see if we can form a lower high. We've just seen a nice push to the upside here, but again, all I'm looking for is a lower high to form. Ideally, it would be nice to see if we can come and retest that structure there, but we might not. We might just struggle at this area. Either which way, if we can see a strong shift momentum, it could be some nice shorts here, and something like this, potentially. And then targets back down at that low, which is 1.272. So something like that looks very enticing, but I need to wait for some confirmation. So yeah, for me, USD Cad still bearish for this one. I'm not looking for buys until we break through that resistance. I was looking at the DXY as well, and the DXY did not break through the structure I wanted it to. As you can see, this is the structure I was talking about yesterday. I said if you can break through that and push through, I'll be looking to switch my bias for USD Cad to bullish. But we slightly poked above with the wick, but again, that for me, wicks always, I always interpret wicks as false moves, rejection. So I'm not really, looking at that and going, oh, that's a break of structure, because we kind of wicked slightly above it. I want to see price, give me a strong close, really push away from those levels, and we haven't seen that as of yet. So with the DXY, we're still respecting resistance, which tells me that the sellers, are still just about control, and we could still see another dive to the downside. So again, even DXY is lining up for some shorts. Unless we rip to the upside suddenly, then I'll be bullish for price to move back into these highs up there. But only if we can rip through that resistance and see some new highs. So again, similar price action to USD Cad, the kind of same analysis really. As long as we stay below, bearish, break above, we go bullish. So yeah, USD Cad looking for essentially a lower high to form, and yeah, take this lower. Hopefully that made sense there for USD Cad. Back here is Forex, welcome to the stream. USD CHF, okay. Euro USD, I just did that, hopefully that made sense there. If not, let me know, I'll go through it again. USD CHF. Hey, morning Biggie Smalls, welcome to the stream. Hope you are good. Thanks, I'm usually in too early, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily too bad to be in too early, because when you predominantly get in too early, that means you don't normally miss the move. You just normally get in too early to the move. So with that, I would recommend either trying to get a little bit more patience into your game, or maybe just when you take your first trade and you get in too early, maybe lower your lot size for that first trade, trade you take. So if price does push a little bit too high, I mean, not too high, if price does push a little bit higher and you've entered too early, you can add more as price pushes to the upside. Obviously, it's a different style of trading with numerous positions. Psychology has to be on point for that. But it does help because you kind of test the water with your first position. If price goes against you a little bit, you can add more, and if it keeps going, you can add more. But obviously, you're still risking predominantly the same amount, so it's not like every trade you're doubling your risk. It's your first position is smaller, then you can add a bit more if price goes higher. If you catch it first time, that's a bonus. But yeah, if you get in too early, maybe you can just stagger your positions a little bit to make up for it. But again, that's just a thing that you probably have to back test and see if that actually works for you, because there's a lot of psychological elements to that. But yeah, USD CHF, see some nice downside. We have come back to retest this resistance here, well, just about, probably missed it by a pip, into that resistance there. So that's where I was expecting USD CHF to go if we could break through the support. Now that reacting with it, the market is still quite bearish for USD CHF. Even though we've had this crazy bullish move, we've been forming these consistent lower highs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all these lower highs. So it tells me that the sellers are still really in control. So with this bullish move here, still really looking to short it back down again. We do have this broken support here, turn resistance at 0.95, which price gave us a really nice move to the upside from. Bit of a false break, got back above, and now we're retesting as a resistance. So if you can hold that, looking for us to drop to the downside from that area and roll back over. So yeah, for me, shorts for USD CHF look good. As for structure here on the hourly, it's still quite bullish. You can see the higher highs and the higher lows are still quite prominent there. So price is still giving us those higher highs. If we can snap through that structure, we can start looking for some sells. You know, something like this. That would be great. You know, break through that low there as well, break through the trend line, and then you can just short it back down, something like that. So yeah, that's what I'll be favoring for USD CHF. We're coming into, you know, key daily resistance at 0.95. Price is quite bearish on the weekly, daily as well. So we do have multi-time frame confidence with this. But yeah, hourly is still pushing to the upside. If that still maintains, we could easily, obviously, break through that zone and push higher. So don't want to get in when the market is still showing a lot of signs of, you know, bullish price action, bullish momentum. But when we see the bear step in, little pullback, maybe break and retest of this structure here, could be nice, something like that. Little break and retest of that, and then from there we can short it back down and take advantage of the sell-off. So still expecting the trend to continue. We just need to see if we can hold on to that level of resistance, and yeah, continue the shorts. So yeah, still looking good. And as long as DXY doesn't break through this resistance here, I still expect us to drop to the downside for the DXY, as long as we don't break through the resistance. If we do see a higher high, probably looking to change my bias. Sure thing, we'll take a look at Euro Pound. Melissa, no problem. Your analysis is really helpful. Can we connect one-on-one sometime? If yes, how? I mean, you can always DM me on what's it called? Instagram. Do you have Instagram? I can always DM me on Instagram. My handle is in the description below. I think it is there. It's basically my name, Miko Aodu. You can DM me, direct message me there anytime you want. But yeah, I'm glad my analysis is helpful. Good to hear. But yeah, we'll take a look at Euro Pound. Yeah, it makes sense now scaling. Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, but it's obviously it's quite different to just one position. It's a lot to handle. But it's good because if you do enter too early, that can kind of sort out that problem. And then, you know, if you're having smaller positions, you're not too emotional about it as well. So if it does go against you, you know, you're not too emotional because it's a smaller position and you add more. But yeah, it's something to look at. But yeah, we'll take a look at Euro Pound, and then I'll move on to Euro AUD. Gold buy or sell now. We'll have a look at gold. No problem. Happy to help. Okay, so yeah, Euro Pound. Okay, so yeah, Euro Pound. I'm looking to short this one. I'm looking for us to come back into these lows here, and eventually 0.831. Basically, that support there. So still looking at more downside. You can see the lower highs there, very, very prominent, and all still intact, all even behind very aggressive wicks. 1, 2, 3, and a fourth one there. So I'm still looking for us to maintain that structure and continue to the downside. We do have this support here, which is just kind of, well, we did break above, break below, a little bit messy, but now we've had pretty strong close below. So as long as we don't go and break back above that structure, I'm looking for us to roll over into those targets. So for Euro Pound, I'm looking at two areas for shorts really. Number one being this level here, that broken swing low. You can see the structure, high, low, high, low, high up there. Then we broke through structure, forming this low. So I'm looking for us to go and retest this area here and then sell off, or retest this area here, then sell off, forming the next lower high either at this area or that area. Again, it's up to the market which area it respects. If it does break above this area here, this is the daily level, you know, we don't really want that. So if we start breaking and we retest, it means that the market actually wants to go higher, and we probably end up, you know, pushing through this structure here, which is not what we want to see if we want the market to maintain its bearish structure. So yeah, with Euro Pound, looking at sells from 0.84193 and 0.84367. From there, looking for shorts, looking for this to roll over. Targets back at these lows and back at 0.831 there. So yeah, that's what I've got going for Euro Pound. We did break through the structure quite nicely as well. As you can see, a little bit of a channel there. We've broken through that. Now looking for us to continue that momentum to the downside. Okay, we'll take a look at Euro UD, then I'll go into gold. Hey bro, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. I was on vacation and passed my foundation in downtown Zurich. I jumped around like a kid. Today my first real money, my first trade new account. Nice, bro. Good to see, man. Good to see. Where are you from? No. So you went on vacation to Zurich. I was about to say, are you from there? But well done, man. Well done. Good to see, bro. Good to see. Hey, thank you, Clean Analysis. Love it. Thank you. Much appreciated. If you guys are enjoying the video, please be sure to leave a like on the channel. On the video, it does really help the channel out. Helps out the channel. And if you haven't done already, make sure you subscribe. Join the family. Everyone is welcome here. I do stream every week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will be posting a video on Friday about crypto. So, you know, feel free to check that video out. I will be posting that on Friday, especially about Ethereum. I'll be talking about Ethereum a lot and kind of what my next prediction is for Ethereum and what I see that market doing. So be sure to check out that video if you're into crypto or Ethereum at least. But yeah, we'll take a look at Euro AUD, then I'll move on to gold. So Euro AUD. Okay, so Euro AUD, big push to the upside yesterday. I said still looking for sells underneath this structure. We kind of just about closed above, which is not the best sign in the world, but I'm still looking at us eventually taking out these lows here. So I'm still looking at some more downside, but we could still retrace potentially even into this structure here. You know, this is our last kind of major low for Euro AUD. Gave us that move to the upside. We've now broken through that low. So we could be looking at some retracement into that structure. Excuse me, into that structure. And then after we see the downside move. But it depends. Can we hold onto this kind of trend line here? As you can see, giving us all these lower highs consistently. Looking to see if we can form another one, but I do want to see us get back below that support stroke resistance. So if I go into the hourly time frame, I do want to see us get back below, maybe respect the trend line, get back below lower high, and then we can fall to the downside off the back of that, maybe snapping through that trend line there as well. So something like that would look good for your AD shorts. Again, longs do look good, but I wouldn't long into that trend line. You know, this is a very strong trend line on the daily, showing us where the trend is, where momentum is. So going long into that doesn't make too much sense in my opinion. If you're looking to go long, wait for us to break through that, retest the structure, and then push through. That will make a whole load more sense. But again, you need to break through that trend line there first. And then yeah, if that happens, I'm looking for a push into 1.47750, which is that prior swing low on the daily. Will now be resistance there where we could potentially sell off. If I do whip out the old fib, okay, so 50% up there, 0.618. We could even see, let's make that darker for you guys. We could even see a retest of this area here, 0.618, before selling off potentially. So I'm still expecting these lows to break, where we have a sell from here, or we have a bigger push and then sell off. I'm still expecting us to go and take out those lows. So it'll be interesting to see what we do. But yeah, for UAD, still bearish on this one. So like my analysis says, I want to see price get back below this level of 1.457, and I'll retest it, shorts the downside, and that level is basically just this level of support here. If we do break through the trend line and then we get a nice little retest of the zone / the trend line, that'll be good for some buys, and pretty big move there, 180 pips to the upside, back up to 147,750. So yeah, that's what I've got going for UAD. Okay, gold. I'm going to take a look at gold now. No problem, Melissa. Happy to help. Hey bro, USD looking really good. Can you please take a look at it? Yeah, of course, we'll take a look at USD. Nice. Hey, you guys sell pound JPY at 163. What do you think? Okay, I'll go take a look at pound yen. Thank you, Clara. Much appreciated. Any pairs you're looking at, just put in the chat, and I'll eventually get to it. There's only one person here, so I do apologise if it does take some time to get to your pair, but I will eventually get to it. Do you do live analysis every day around the London session? Not every day, only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I do it from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. London time, UTC +1. So it's kind of the crossover between London to New York. So as London's dying down and as we're kind of picking up to New York, that's when I go live, 10 a.m. to 12, and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I will be live again tomorrow. But yeah, I'll take a look at gold now. So gold. So yeah, gold. So yeah, I was analysing gold yesterday and predominantly talking about sells. For this one, I did say it would be nice if we could retrace, but we haven't really done much. We kind of just still kind of traded it in this kind of box here. I was saying if we can kind of form that lower high, but again, this could be the lower high. You know, we don't really have to push up here, which is what I was talking about. You know, the market might just want to form a lower high, you know, into respect to this resistance and then drop. But essentially what I'm looking at is price rolling over. You know, we had this 1800 level here. Market failed to break through it many times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Price respected that level, broke that lows and broke to the downside. So the targets remain the same for gold, which is 1868, this low, and this low here as well as the target. So that's why I do see gold heading towards. I said yesterday some retracement to the outside would be nice, but I think we may have already had it. So what I'm looking at for gold now is just continue momentum to the downside, and if we can break through that, we may go and hit that second target as well. So yeah, I'm not really interested in buying gold. I'm looking at the next lower high forming here in the daily chart. We've got high up there, next high, looking for that next lower high. For us to continue this momentum to the downside, back down to lows, and maybe even further as well. So I'm really looking at gold continuing to the downside. I wouldn't say it's on just yet. That lower high isn't confirmed just yet, but yeah, even from an intraday perspective, things are looking bearish. So yeah, I'm looking at 1768 and then 1756. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. And again, I wouldn't really look to sell it now either, because you know we're at these lows. You want price to pull back at least, fall into the low high, respect to that structure, then sell from up there. Or if you do break through, sell from up there. You don't really want to be selling into these lows. But yeah, that's why I do see gold heading towards before maybe some upside. So hopefully that made sense there for gold. USD, okay, I'll take a look at USD, then pound yen. Good day to you too, Alpha. Welcome to the stream. Cleaned you upside move yesterday. Looking for short on your JPY for today. Divergence for me. Okay, we'll have a look. Good morning, Dorcas. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Welcome everyone. Hope everyone is doing good. Where is USD? There you are. Okay, so yeah, USD we flew. We had some New Zealand dollar news yesterday, or was it this morning? Big spike to the downside in a lot of these NZD pairs, or spike to the upside depending where the NZD is. But as you can see, big spike to the downside, respected that low and price rocketed to the upside. So I said yesterday that I was still favoring a bit more upside anyway for your NZD. I'm still looking at us coming back into this area here before we see some downside, and potentially you may even come into this area here as well. So that's the two main areas I'm looking for USD to pull back into before we sell off back down to these lows, because this is my overall target for USD back down to 1.57, 1.56. This is where I'm kind of shorting USD towards. So I'm looking at either us selling off from here into the lows there, or we might break through that, retest this structure, which is that price swing low, and then roll over to the downside. Either which way, we're looking at this getting ready to roll over and just continue structure really. So long-term shorts, medium-term, short-term, everything is still looking pretty bullish, but we haven't even come into that level yet. So I want to see what we can do from up there. Maybe see some signs of reversals, then we can short, or if we just storm straight through, we may be able to take advantage of a break and retest and buys up into that second zone there at 0.64. And then from there we can get those bigger sells to the downside and sell it. But of course we're still a long way from that, so we'll get to that when we get to that, if we do get up there. But yeah, this is really where I'm looking to sell 1.615. See what type of price action we can get up there. We're not quite at that level yet, so I can favor a little bit more upside, and then we'll see what type of price action we can get. If we see some nice signs of reversals, we'll be looking for the shorts for price to drop a lot lower. And yeah, long term do see price tanking, which is another 400 pips to the downside. So still a pretty long way to go for this one. A lot more shorts I see on the way. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for USD. Again, if I didn't explain something well, let me know. Or if you didn't understand it, let me know. But okay, we'll take a look at pound yen. I'll go to GU and your JPY. Yeah, AJPY, no problem. We'll have a look as well. Okay, so yeah, pound yen. We did see a bit of a rocket yesterday. For a lot of the yen pairs, a bit of a big move to the upside. And again, I was talking about pound yen because I was trading this one last week. I did close the trade a little bit early over there. But I said yesterday some shorts could be looking good if you can hold this level. But we did have to take it with a bit of a pinch of salt. Reason being, we're trading at a very, very important area on the daily time frame, and for the weekly for that matter as well. You can see this is where all the wicks are collecting. So I said yesterday I would have looked to short at that level in the hourly, but because of where we're trading with daily, it doesn't make too much sense shorting into that area, because this is where we're seeing a lot of rejection. Wick 1, wick 2, wick 3. It's not a good sign really of short. So this is why I shorted up there, catch some of the move to the downside, but I don't really want to enter more trades down here. Preferably up here is a much better place to short pound yen. And even if I go on the weekly quickly, you can see how many wicks we're leaving to the downside there. That's not really a good sign for shorts there for pound yen. So yeah, pound yen for me is in a very awkward area, because I'm no longer as bearish as I was coming into the past couple of weeks. I've only been talking about pound yen shorts, and rightly so. We have seen some nice downside, some good opportunities to take advantage of that. However, after price action is starting to build up, I'm no longer as confident with those shorts anymore, and I can start to see some long opportunities forming. I'm particularly looking at this weekly time frame. And I said to you guys, I was expecting maybe a little bit of a top to form here for pound yen, and us to see some downside and come a lot lower. But we've had numerous attempts to see some downside. You can see all these wicks here on the weekly time frame, giving us this kind of support we've formed now. This is not a good sign. If the market's going to come lower, we'd expect it to drop by now. If you look at the way the market moves, it doesn't normally do, create support like that and then eventually break through. If it's going to go down, it will either go down the first, second, or third time. This is like 6th, 7th, 8th. So we're seeing a lot of rejection here from a week perspective. So even though daily still looks bearish, I wouldn't short this too far, and I would be out of the trade pretty quickly, because from a weekly perspective, it looks like we're getting ready for a bigger move to the upside. And because the weekly and the monthly are still very bullish, sorry. The weekly and the monthly are still very bullish. I believe they probably will win the war and see us give us another leg to the upside, because the higher time frames, they normally always come out on top. So I don't really want to go against that. So from a weekly perspective, it looks like we're getting ready for another push to the upside. Daily, you can still see those lower swing highs there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the lower highs are still intact. So that's why sales still do look good for pound yen. But like I said, I wouldn't push it too far. We are coming to some nice resistance here. Broken support down the left, term resistance, couldn't break it before. Now coming into it again. So yeah, shorts do look good here. No real confirmation yet, so I wouldn't jump into the trade. I'm still seeing big bullish candles here on the hourly. 30-minute did look good there, but I normally take my trades on the hourly anyway, especially if I'm using 4H zones or daily zones. I don't want to drop too low for my trades. I want to keep it at least the hourly. So if the hourly can give me something there, I'm not looking to short it, but that would probably be a nice trade. But again, I wouldn't take it too far. This is probably as far as I'll take that trade, and I'll probably look into bank profit at this area here where we have those wicks consolidating at 162.250. So if we do see some shorts there, I'll be taking probably half the profit. I know it's probably not too much. It's still about 80 pips, so it's not bad. So I'll probably be taking half there and close the rest there. And if we do snap through this level, that's when I believe, okay, we're seeing the 4H start lining up with the weekly and the monthly. And at that point, looking for a higher low for that continuation higher. And targets for that move, we've got the highs up here, we've got the highs over there, and lastly, we've got the highs over there. So multiple targets to push through to the upside if the buyers do take control. So yeah, right now for pound yen, we're trading in a very interesting place where we could sell off or we could go long. I just want to see who's going to win that battle. Again, higher time frames normally win, so I'm leaning towards the upside for pound yen. And some of the other JPY pairs, like I was talking about yesterday, I wasn't so confident with the shorts because I do think they're getting ready for some longs, and I think pound yen could be looking to follow suit. So with this price we're trading at right now, see what happens if you can respect it. If you just break straight through, if we can hold that as support, most likely going to continue higher, 165, 167, 168 as targets. If you can respect it, then we might see a small sell-off into these areas before we find our feet again and push through. But yeah, that's what I've got going for pound yen. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. Pound USD and Euro JPY, of course, we got to that. Now we'll move on to AJPY. No problem, happy to help. Happy to help them. So completely forgot I was supposed to take a look again. GU and then Euro JPY. So again, Euro JPY, another yen pair. Pound USD did see a nice push to the upside. We respected these lows. I was actually looking for pound USD to take out these lows because I was really looking for some shorts yesterday for pound USD. However, not so confident again looking for shorts today because we respected these lows. Really nice candlestick formation on the hourly there and a big push to the upside. So well done for catching that. Nice push to the upside from that low. Again, I'm not too convinced with pound USD because I was looking to short from 1.21, 1.25, coming to this resistance here across, looking good. I would have shorted from this candlestick here, really nice wick to the upside there, stops above, and I would have been looking to short into those lows and then 1.19 and so on and so forth. However, the reason why I haven't gone short is because we respected these lows here. Price came back and just bounced really aggressively from that support. I was looking to see if we can form some new lows, but yeah, that's not a particularly good sign for me for shorts. If we can break through the structure, we can actually be looking for some longs to build up again for a push higher. So yeah, with pound USD, we could still see some downside. Just because we haven't taken up the lows doesn't mean we can't. But it just means that the setup I was looking for is not really there anymore. Because again, I was looking for the DXY to do the same really and break through that structure and see some new highs, but we didn't. And so did pound USD. So we're kind of still respecting that area. So pound USD may see some downside, but again, I don't think it'll be too far. The next swing I was looking for is either these lows here or this low, but we may be pushing up to these highs first. Again, nothing's concrete yet. I'm still kind of just monitoring, not jumping in it just yet. But yeah, pound USD very interesting, but a nice catch there, a nice move to the upside there. Euro JPY, another yen pair. So again, briefly looked at this one. I said for this one, the structure is still intact for this one, but again, similar analysis to pound yen. Higher time frames are still pointing to the upside. It's the monthly, weekly, and still expecting more upside from us and for eventually us to push back into the highs up there. So I still do see us moving higher, but again, we are showing a lot of bearish structure here on the daily, equal highs up there, lower swing high, potentially another lower swing high there as well. So the market structure is still bearish, but we just need to wait for confirmation because at the moment, everything is still bullish. So I said there's kind of two ways you can go about it. We've still got lower high, potential lower high. You can look for shorts around this area here and anticipate the next lower high forming. It's going to be slightly more aggressive, but it still is in line with structure, so it still does make sense. Or you can wait for a slightly more conservative trade, which would be a break through that support there, because this is where we formed that original low. We respected it yesterday or this morning. We want price to come back, respect that again as resistance, and then we can see a sell-off into that first zone, and then back down into the lows there as well, and continue that swing. So it's up to you how you want to trade it. Slightly more aggressive trade there, slightly less aggressive trade there, and a break and retest of that structure. But essentially, we're still forming these lower lows and lower highs, so we're still going to be looking for shorts until that structure breaks. If we go and run straight through that, see some new highs, then yeah, we'll probably be in line with the higher time frames then, and we can look for some buyers to the upside and push it to 140, 142 up there. So there's a lot of targets we can push to the upside if we do go and break through that structure. But until we do that, still favoring the shorts to the downside. But yeah, it's just up to you guys how you want to trade it. Okay, so yeah, I hope that made sense. So yeah, shorts do look good, but yeah, gotta wait for that confirmation, and it's up to you how you want to trade that. ADJY, of course, we'll get into that, and gold we'll take a look as well. So yeah, ADJY, I'm actually looking at buys for this one. I'm looking at this one pushing higher. Again, I know the structure isn't predominantly bullish on the higher time frames. It is it's still very, very bullish indeed. It is running up momentum with those wicks, as you can see, but momentum is still to the upside. I'm looking at us pushing higher back to these highs. Back to these highs here at 96,873. I'm still looking at us pushing into those highs, maybe even higher as well. I'm looking at this momentum continuing. You can see a couple of weeks ago, big wick to the downside. Oh, completely missed the wick there. Big wick to the downside, a bit of a fake out of those lows. Prices pulled back, closed, the small body bullish candle there. Then we saw the real momentum step in last week to the upside. So basically, I'm looking at momentum continuing into these highs. Maybe a third push, and then we could see the reversal potentially for ADJPY, but I am looking at us pushing to the upside for this one. And you can see we've tried to sell off once, big push to the downside, just ended up with a big wick. Second push, again big wick. Third push, again big wick. So we're trying to sell off, but each time, you know, we're kind of just stopping dead in our tracks and reversing to the upside. So I'm looking at us potentially forming a higher low over here, and us eventually pushing to the upside into that zone. So I'm actually looking at buys for ADJPY. There's two ways you can go about it. There is a potential head and shoulder that is forming here. Left, head, right shoulder. Not the most easiest head and shoulder pattern to spot, but it's the same concept of price forming the left shoulder, head and the right shoulder. You know, high, there's a potential lower high, you know, at that resistance. So there's two ways you can go about it and trade this setup. You can either look for the slightly more aggressive trade, which is basically going long from this support here, expecting us to break through that and push the upside, or you can wait for us to break above this structure here, wait for the retest of that, and then the buys to the upside. Something like that will make a lot more sense. So 94,400, if you can break above that, that will kind of not invalidate the head and shoulder setup, but show us that, okay, the buys are still present. And that we can probably still see another push to the upside off the back of that. You know, something like that could be forming. So I'm favoring more upside for ADJPY. I'm looking at us pushing a lot further. And also we did have this level of resistance here. Really, really nice level there, as you can see. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Now sort of kind of acting as support here. Let's get rid of that. Sort of acting as support there, not the best, but yeah, we're trading above it. So yeah, I'm favoring longs for ADJPY. Depending on how that candle closes, I may actually look to get long, to be fair, because the setup does look good. It's going to be a slightly more aggressive trade, because say if I get long with a nice and bullish engulfing, stop just below the zone, you know, I do come into an obstacle straight away at this level here. But I believe the higher time frames are going to win the battle anyway, so I expect us to break through, and if I get in early I can maximize my risk to reward. I may not push it all the way to those highs though. A bit of an aggressive move. Pushing to the resistance there does make sense, which is still a 1 to 3, so it does make good sense. I'll see how we close anyway, because I'm mainly looking at momentum to see if we're still present, because I'm still buying off the stronger zone. But if it doesn't close too well, I'll wait for the second opportunity, which is that breaking retest of that level. But any which way, as long as we can hold 93,800, yeah, I'm looking at us pushing higher. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for ADJPY. Okay, gold, I'll take a look at gold. No problem. Did you already close your pound CAD trade? Yeah, I have closed my pound CAD trade. It did came back against me, unfortunately. Did manage to bank some nice partials before the news, however, which I was talking about yesterday, because we were coming into my first target, which was this 1.55 support. You can see some really nice, you know, lows here. And it was, to be fair, in hindsight, now I can see why we're having this bounce, because you can see very, very aggressive sell-offs into the support, and another very aggressive sell-off. And when we get momentum like this, typically you want to see price push through structure. If it just stops in the dime like that, it's showing us that this support is actually a support not really to mess around in. You know, it's a support that the market is showing a lot of, you know, force, and it takes a lot of momentum for us to break through. So as long as we trade above it, we would expect it to hold and price to reverse. So I can see why the market is seeing some upside, because it is a strong support. You can see here, again, tried to break through, it didn't, and we started flying again to the upside, which is where I got my entry from. So yeah, I did bank some nice partials coming to that first target. But yeah, price has seen some upside. It came close to hit my stop loss at break even yesterday. So it came pretty close there, pushed back down, gave me some false hope. And then it rallied again this morning into that same area. So partial win for that one, not a full take profit, because I was obviously looking for a push back down to these lows here, but I needed that level to break, and obviously that's a very strong level, so price is having a hard time. I'm still looking at going short, however, because my higher time frame bias is still to the downside. I'm looking at the larger structure for this one. Everything is still quite bearish, so I'm not looking for longs just yet until this structure breaks, as you can see there. If we can break through that resistance and break through the trend line, and particularly break through this high here on the left, then that'll show me that the buyers are back in control. Break through that, buyers in control, then I'll be looking for some longs after that. But at the moment, I'm going to see what we do back at that same resistance at 1.56178, and from that I will judge whether I jump back into the shorts or just leave it alone. But it was a nice idea, it was a good trade, just yeah, the support just held. Yeah, we'll take a look at gold as well. And yeah, we're having that CPI news for CAD as well. So I was a bit traumatized from last week. Even though last week wasn't too bad, I had AUD short and pound yen short. Pound yen played out off the back of the news, but the news took up my AUD trade. It was a bit stressful having two trades open with the CPI news for dollar coming out. So with the CPI news for CAD, I thought play it safe, just go break even, take some partials off, and yes, come back against me any which way. So yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on pound CAD because it's still on the watch list. It hasn't broken structure yet, but yeah, at the moment there's nothing for me to do with it. Gold, we're seeing some corrective price action of recent times, but again, like I said, I'm still bearish for this one. Higher time frame, I'm still looking for that next lower high to form. Again, one drive up there, second, third, looking for the fourth to form, somewhere around there. You know, retesting broken structure, always good to see. And then I'm looking at us rolling over back down to these lows. So that's what I'm looking at for gold long term. I haven't jumped into any shorts yet. I'm not really seeing the break of structure I want to see yet. For me, this is the main low that I want the price to take out. And then from that, I can make a better judgment if I'm looking to jump short and get into those shorts. But at the moment, yeah, this could still be a higher low. But yeah, for gold for today, we're still holding that resistance. I mean, to be fair, it's more like a range, to be fair. We're still holding that area. I'm still looking to see if we can tap into these areas 1 and 2 before we see some upside. If we break above that high, then we could see a push back into 1800, which would be again a good place to sell from, because you can see we had 4 stabs at 1800, 1800 being right there. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 stabs at 1800, but failed each time, and then we dropped to the downside. So 1800 being a great psychological level, and there's also a really nice area of resistance now. So if we do break through this consolidation and push into there, we'll be again looking for that next lower high for another drive to the downside, really, for gold. Yeah, that's really where I'm looking to see if we can hold from that lower high and then tank from. So that's really what I'm looking at for gold. Appreciate it, Paul. Gold will be bleeding. Good day, Miko. I mean, I think that's all you ever say, bro. Gold will be bleeding, and to be fair, most of the time you're completely correct. But yeah, I'm looking at gold rolling over and seeing a lot of downside as well. Long-term bias, I'm expecting these lows to be taken out. The market's built up a lot of liquidity underneath these lows here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see these are all more or less equal lows here. And we do have equal highs at the top here as well, which is very interesting. Either which way, we're trading a massive range for gold. I'm expecting either these highs to be taken out or these lows to eventually be taken out. Of course, we have to eventually take out. We can't be in the range forever. But since we've got a lot more liquidity above below here than above there, I would suspect, because we tested it more times, so a lot more people will be invited to buying here. And because we still do have a bearish trend in place, I'm expecting us to continue to the downside and take out those lows. So yeah, long term, I'm still looking at gold rolling over. We're still respecting my price support, time resistance there. So yeah, I'm looking to see if we can break some structure and get bearish. So far everything's a little bit messy, so I'm not really looking to short gold right now. It's kind of in a range a little bit. We've got some support not too far away with this support and that support, so I'm not really looking to short gold right now, but that is definitely the direction that I want to be trading in. So if you can push up to 1800, that would be a great place to go short. Anticipate another drop to the downside. It doesn't have to be a push all the way back down to these lows, but that's the kind of bias I'll have. So throughout this kind of next period, I'm only really looking to short gold. There will be some good long opportunities, don't get me wrong, some good buy opportunities, day trading, intraday trading, but for my swing analysis, I see the market rolling over, so I'm only going to be looking to trade in line with that bias for the foreseeable future until something happens that it validates that bias, really. So yeah, I'm only going to look at the short gold. If you do push to 1800, that'd be fantastic. Right now, we're kind of in a range. So yeah, do with that what you will. You can look to take advantage of that range, buy low, sell high. Other than that, yeah, I wouldn't really look to get involved with gold. Trading at that support, not really much to do with that one. If you can break the highs of this, then there could be a nice little buy opportunity, something like that, into 1800. Because then we'll be back above this kind of support as well on the left. So that could make a lot of sense, but obviously we have to get above that first. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for gold. Waiting for 1H close below 137 for shorting Euro JPY, anticipating to restart the bearish wave. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the structure is still in place for Euro JPY. The structure is still in place. We've got one high over there, second high, potential third lower high, even daily showing us lower highs. We've got equal highs up there, 1 and 2. So the lower highs are definitely there for all of us to see, but I'm just not particularly confident on the JPY strength, JPY weakness, sorry. JPY strength, yeah, JPY strength, because we need JPY strength for Euro JPY to go down. Confused myself there. So yeah, I'm not particularly confident on the Euro JPY strength. So that's why I'm a little bit unsure. But if you're looking to short this one, then shorts from here do look good. Or if you can break below that low, I mean, if you can come and respect that resistance as well, I mean, equal highs, respect that resistance, that's also going to be a good short if you can hold that as well. And then yeah, targets back down to these lows and 133 down there as well. But like I said, I'm not quite convinced on that JPY strength yet. I can see a lot of other pairs related to JPY, pound yen, CHF JPY, AUD JPY, all these other pairs, you know, I'm not quite convinced. USD JPY as well, that one kept pushing. Yeah, I could be wrong, of course, but from the price action I'm seeing, I'm not particularly a big fan of. I mean, they're all trading at good areas where shorts will look good, but I just don't think they will travel too far. But hey, trade your own analysis, trade your bias, and you go from there, because you know nothing's 100%. But yeah, like I said, if you're looking to go short, you know, this is the area that you want to go short from. If you're looking for a bit more conservative trade, you know, we have a nice support there, If you can get a break and retest of that, that'll be a nice little place to go short there as well. And you've got the first target back down at these lows, second target 133.472 down there as well. So the structure is still in place for Euro JPY, nothing's changed, so it makes complete sense to look for sells. But yeah, not entirely convinced, and simply because of the higher time frames. And higher time frames, I mean weekly and monthly. Hello, just joining in. Anything said on pound USD? I'll go and take a look on pound USD. I'll go take a look. So yeah, pound USD. This one is in a bit of a grey area right now. I'm respecting some nice resistance here, as you can see, just taking that level across over there, nice resistance. We could see a drop to the downside for pound USD back down into 1.202, but after that we might find support again, push through to the upside, because we are respecting these lows here, and these lows did give us a pretty big move to the upside. So this is a quite a strong support at 1.2 100, just above 1.2, not quite 1.2, but just above that area. So shorts do look good, but I think they're good for more intraday. So I don't think they'll go too far. I mean, to be fair, it depends, because a move into that is still 70 pips. So, you know, it's still a decent move, to be fair. So yeah, pound USD could see a nice move to the downside into those lows. But yeah, I'm not too sure if we will break through, because the DXY still hasn't broken through that resistance yet. If the DXY can break through that structure there and see a higher high, because we formed nice lower high up there, lower low, lower high, lower low, and now come back to respect, you know, that prior structure there. We haven't broke through it, so technically speaking, DXY is still bearish, and if DXY is still going to fall, then pound USD is going to find it really hard to fall as well. I do want to see price break structure for DXY, and the shorts for pound look a lot better, which I was anticipating yesterday. I was anticipating us to break through structure for DXY and then pound USD breakthrough structure as well, see a nice lower low and then short it. But we didn't. Still trading at a nice area though, which is why I'm expecting us to push down. Had a really nice wick there this morning, nice old wick there to the upside, so it's still a nice short, but yeah, just not entirely convinced that we'll break through this support here. But it's still, again, 70 pips, 70 odd pips, 70, 80 pips to the downside. So yeah, still a good opportunity on pound. If we break through this resistance here, that's when things change, and then I'll be favouring and move back to those highs at 1.22600. So if we do end up clearing that resistance there, then that's the level I'll be favouring pound USD to hit. So really, all eyes really for me is on this area here. If we end up taking out this structure, then cool, we could probably see a bearish trend form, and probably price come back down to these lows. So yeah, we'll just hop in the next low high and take advantage of that move. So yeah, that's what I've got going for pound USD. Nothing too crazy, but still favouring the sells. But yeah, my main focus is to see what we do from DXY perspective. And USD Cad, what's happening USD Cad? Yeah, USD Cad still struggling a little bit. I do want to see us come back and we test the structure here, give me a nice price action, and then I'll look to short it. I'm still bearish for USD Cad as long as we don't break through this resistance. Break through that level, I will probably go bullish, and target 1 being at that zone there, target 2 being that wick up there. So pound USD still favouring shorts, reason being because we didn't break it yesterday. So I'm still favouring us rolling over. But yeah, I just need a confirmation to get short and start taking advantage of that opportunity. Had the nice consolidation yesterday. I said yesterday, if we can break to the downside, we test it, see some downside off the back of that, and I believe that's what we're doing now. So if you can see that retest, get a nice little candlestick formation on the hourly, that'll be my entry. And target's pretty much back at these lows here, nothing more complicated than that. I do see us still falling to 1.26 if that's the case. May leave some to trickle at that point. Probably won't hold full volume to 1.26. Reason being is I'm giving myself a lot of exposure for price to suddenly go back to the upside, and I do want to see that. But a push down to these lows does look likely, so that's why I'll probably close 80% of the trade and then 20% at 1.26. But yeah, we do need to stay below this 1.29 area. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for USD Cad. But yeah, my main focus really now is to see what we do with some of these JPY pairs, because if my high time frame bias is starting to come through, we could be looking at some really nice long opportunities. Most of them are quite set yet. Most of them are still give me some bearish structure, but if I can see some support holding, like for ADJPY, if I can see the support level holding, I will look to go long. So far right now, no confirmation, so I'm still waiting to see a strong confirmation here, or break above this area and then go long, something like that as well would be nice. But yeah, at the moment, no confirmation. And at the moment as well, something to notice is that the head and shoulder pattern could still definitely be in play as well. So definitely don't rule that out. And if we take out these lows, yeah, we probably are going to the downside. I do not want to see these lows taken out. So yeah, that's what I'm favouring there. Euro pound looks like we're getting some nice retracement as well. So again, shorts do look good from either one of those areas. See what we can do if we can respect them. As long as we don't break back above 0.84436, shorts still look good for Euro pound. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to leave a like on the video. I do really appreciate that. If you're enjoying the content, finding it useful, please be sure to leave a like. It does really help the channel out. And yeah, if you haven't done already, subscribe as well. Join the family if you're new to the stream, to the channel. I do go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. London time, UTC +1. And I just share my trades, my analysis, thoughts, all that good stuff. You guys can share your trades or your thoughts as well in the chat. And yeah, we just discuss and analyze the live markets. So feel free to hit the subscribe button and join the fam. Everyone is welcome. CAD JPY, of course, Ali will take a look at that. So again, another yen pair. So yeah, we were looking at CAD JPY yesterday, and things were looking pretty bearish. You can see had this really nice head and shoulder setup, left head, right shoulder. This is a nice downside. We technically broke through that neckline, kind of this area here. But we have had a steep push to the upside, and we have just about taken out the highs yet. Not with a candle closure, which is really what I'm looking for. Price is still trading at that resistance there. If you can push through that structure, that'll tell me that the sells, kind of are invalidated really, because if I go to the hourly time frame, you can see the way price is moving. We had the high over there, low, high, low, lower high, lower low. So predominantly what we're looking for is the next lower low, lower high, to form and continue that bearish trend back down to these lows here. So that's originally what the plan was for Euro JP, CAD JPY, sorry, I keep saying the wrong pair, for us to form that next lower high and then roll over. However, it looks like CAD Yen has some other plans in mind. So if you start taking out structure there, then I'm actually favoring us to reverse and see another move to the upside, and targets for this one would be this resistance here at 106. Nice strong resistance there, broke above, retested and dropped. 106 is where I would see price head towards if that's the case. So with CAD Yen, we're kind of at a grey area because we're still trading at the resistance where we could still sell off, but if we break through, then I'm favoring the buys. So if you're waiting for a move for this one, similar to USD Cad, I'll wait for this support to go, break, and then that will show us that the sellers are back in control again. And then yeah, you can take some shorts off the back of that. Nice little retest of this support would be nice, or if we push up to that resistance again, test it, that would be nice as well. But either which way, we do want to see this bearish there come first, rather than trying to anticipate it and get short first. You don't need to catch the top to see some nice moves. You can always get in second or third on the third pullback even. So yeah, I would like to see a move happen to the downside first, and then some shorts under there will look good. And then yeah, we can short this thing a lot further, back down to this support here, and then second support down there as well. So CAD Yen's got a lot of downside in it, but we need to see price make its move. If it doesn't, 106 is where I believe we are off to next. So yeah, if we start holding 104.500 as support, then CAD Yen for me is about to explode to the upside and look a lot bullish. But if we do see this move happen, sales would be back in play, and then we can take the retest to the downside, which is more conservative, more high probable entry as well. Because a lot of people will be shorting from up here, which is again a very, very good place to short because we're back at these highs here, back at the structural high. So essentially, you know, you're shorting right at the area at the extreme of the structure. So if price does break to the upside, you can have a pretty tight stop loss anyway. You know, as long as you don't have a big wick or a false break or something like that, you can afford to have a pretty tight stop loss and have a really good risk reward because you're catching pretty much the high of this next pullback if that's going to be, you know, the high there. But obviously you do leave yourself a little bit exposed because price will easily continue to the upside like so. So waiting for this to happen gives you more probable entry and more likelihood of it happening. And the risk to reward, depending on your entry, you know, can still be pretty good there as well from that level, stop loss above, you know, into that support there and into that support down there. So the risk to reward still looks good, but it's a much, much safer and more high probable entry. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking at for USD Cad. CAD yen. USD CAD still pushing up, coming into that level. So I want to see what we can do at this area now, and then that will tell me my next kind of move for USD CAD. Because if you do break through 1.29, then I'll be changing my bias. All I'm looking for now is a lower high to form. AJPY coming to that support, we'll see if we can hold it. Same with NZJPY, USJPY we already pushed through. Again, yesterday I had a setup drawn like this for USJPY, and that was my original setup coming into the week, but then after looking at the price action for Monday, Tuesday, I knew that shorts from that level weren't going to be as good as they were looking coming into the week, mainly being that price was not moving the way I wanted it to. We did have a nice, well, a very, very aggressive sell-off the back of the news last week, so I wanted to see some healthy retracement back into this area and then short it back down again. However, we did not see healthy retracement. This here, nice push to the upside. I was looking for us to continue that move and then test it and then short. However, we formed two attempts to go south, to go to the downside. One attempt here. That's not what I wanted to do. We had one attempt over here to go to the downside, failed. Second attempt, downside, failed. And from that, we saw bullish momentum. So it tells me that the bears tried to form a lower high over here, tried to roll over, but failed. And in fact, formed a higher low and pushed through. So it told me that sells could be looking good from this level. You know, we're looking at that larger head and shoulder. So shorts could be looking good from that level, but most likely we're just going to form another higher low in respect to this low here and that low, and as you can see we did, and price pushed higher. So what I'm looking next for USDJPY is for this momentum to probably continue. I do think we can probably have another pullback potentially, maybe into this level of support, and then from that probably push into 136.5, which is where my next kind of valuable area to short for USDJPY is, up at that resistance 136.5. So that's what I'm looking at price heading towards for USDJPY, as long as we can maintain this bullish structure. Excuse me. And yeah, a little bit of a trendline confluence with that broken resistance turn support there as well. So that for me does look like a good setup. 134 bias to 136.5. 134, 136.5. No problem, man. Happy to help. Happy to help. Hey Venkata, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Forex, yep, that's what's on the screen. Forex. Gold buy or sell. Gold's in the range, so both really. Gold's in the range, so both. I do have a sell bias from the higher time frame, so I'm only looking to short gold because I'm expecting the next lower high on the daily and the weeklies to form and roll over back down to the 1700s. So I'm still looking at gold coming a lot further to the downside. But as for now, since kind of Monday, Tuesday, and so far Wednesday, we're kind of in this range. So gold buy, sell is a bit of both. Essentially, if we respect the low of the range, we could see a nice move to the upside, and respect the high, we could see another move back down. So really, you've got a range to work with. You can look to trade the range if you want to, buy low, sell high. I'm mainly waiting for the next swing. Now, I'm not really too interested in that range. It's not really the range I'm looking for. I'm really looking to sell gold. So gold could break to the downside from the range, continue to take out these lows, or it may break to the upside, which a nice little break and retest could look good, into 1800, and then sells from 1800 back down again. So you can see we had 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to break through 1800 but failed. So if you do see another push, we'll be looking for some more sells for a push back down again. But yeah, as of now, gold's just ranging. So if you're looking to trade the range, looking for buys, lows, and sell high, so both really. But yeah, I'm still waiting for gold to clear up so I can map out that next move properly. And really start to look to enter some trades for gold. But for me, I'm staying away from gold as of right now. Unclear for its next move, and all it's doing right now is just ranging. So it's up to you how you want to do with that information. You can look to trade the range, buy low, sell high if you want to drop to the lower time frames to trade it, stop loss below. But yeah, not too keen on gold at the moment. But yeah, is anyone looking to buy, sell gold? Let us know. Because all I can see for gold is a bit of a range. It's very, very choppy at the moment. So I'm not looking to do too much with this one. Euro USD, still trading the low of the range there. Not really looking at too much for this one. I'm trading at below the range, respected it. I said yesterday could see a nice push to the midpoint of the range, which is kind of this area here. Kind of missed it by a few pips, but it's the same principle of nice push. Get out the trade coming into that area. Don't necessarily have to look for the full swing to take advantage of the range. A push to the midpoint of the range is very, very likely. And it's an easy place to bank some partials or just exit quickly and take a quick profit when trading ranges. So do take that into account. But yeah, Euro USD having trouble pushing up higher, still on the lows of the range, so I'm not really looking for sells. If you can clear the range out, then that'll be interesting for Euro USD. Might be seeing some nice sells that back down to 1. We will have to see. Hello Kim, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Any pairs you're looking at? Any pairs caught your eye looking to trade or currently trading? Feel free to share if you want to. I have a look, share my analysis. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to leave a like on the channel. All that is much appreciated. Does really help the channel out. And also subscribe as well. Join the fam. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. Again, CHF JPY having trouble rolling over as well. Pound yen still at that key resistance. So like I said, sales could be looking good, but higher time frames looking like they're about to shoot to the upside, and those will be the targets for pound yen. Which is why I'm not convinced on the sells as much anymore. AJPY still trading at that support, seeing potential buys will be ready there. And again, any setups that I do get, I will let you guys know in my Telegram, so feel free to go check out my Telegram if you want to. Links to that will be in the description. I share my setups, my watch list for the week, ideas, and some videos there as well. So feel free to go and check that out if you want to. The links in the description to that. And if you are looking for a broker as well, I do have my affiliate link there to IC Markets in the description. Feel free to use it if you want to. check out IC Markets. Again, broker I've been using for the past couple of years. No issues with them. So if you wanted to go and check them out, looking for a broker, yeah, IC Markets could be the one. So feel free to go and check that out if you want to. Okay, USD Cad, what are we doing here? Still testing that resistance. Again, this is really where I'm looking to short really for USD Cad. So it's almost all or nothing, because if you do break above that doesn't fill me with too much confidence, because now we're seeing momentum build up from this area, and now we could be seeing momentum, come back again in this area, which could give us the move, to go and break through this resistance. So really what I want to be seeing is a low high forming. We formed the high up there, push the downside from the low, something like that. Now I want to see a low high form and then continue south. So yeah, price is trading at my entry area. I just need to see an entry confirmation now to get involved, and then yeah, trade it to the downside, something like that. Maybe not exactly like that, but more or less the same from that area. So that's what I'm looking at for USD Cad. As of right now, everything is still quite bullish. So yeah, no trade for me, but we'll be keeping an eye through this one. Again, we do have some FOMC later today, so I do want to enter the trade within the next few hours. Really, I don't want to be waiting, close to the news. I want to be, in the trade with some hours to spare. And manage what's going on, or if I'm not and it's like an hour before the news or even 2 hours before the news, I may just call it quits and just wait for tomorrow's price action to enter my trades, if there's still a valid setup there, of course, because I don't want to enter too raw into the news on a fresh candle where spikes can happen either direction and kind of mess up your trade a little bit. So I'd rather be in the trade waiting for the news to come to me rather than try and get in, take advantage of the volatility that the news creates. So if it's like a couple of hours or an hour before, I'll wait till tomorrow to enter any trades. Pound yen probably sell. Okay, we'll have a little look see. Pound CAD still pushing for this one. It's already up. Already exited the trade, but we'll see what we do from up there. So yeah, pound yen. So yeah, pound yen is a nice little sell area. I do have to admit, I agree with you there. But yeah, higher time frames are telling me that this market could be getting ready to move to the upside with all of these wicks here. That price is left here to the downside. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. If we can maintain these wicks, I'm expecting us to push to the upside. See this strong bullish move here. Are we expecting another one to form? Hey, thank you so much for subscribing. I was about to try and pronounce the name there, but I knew I was just going to butcher it, so my apologies. But thank you so much for subscribing. So yeah, could be seeing another push to the upside, something like that, to some new highs forming from a weekly perspective. And again, higher time frames normally always win, so I don't really want to go too against the higher time frames when there's so many wicks down there. So yes, pound yen is a nice little area to sell. I do agree, but again, I don't think we're going to go too far. So I've got these couple areas mapped out. We could see a drive into this area, then potentially maybe a drive into that area there as well. So if you do get short for pound yen from this area with all these spikes, which is a nice little area to short from a low time frame perspective, but we probably might see a move like this and the higher time frame kicks in, or a move like this and then the higher time frame kicks in. And again, pound yen still has a bunch of pips to it, so that's still a fairly solid move from current price, 74 pips and then 180 pips. So it's still a decent short if those targets play out. But with the weekly forming, I'm suspecting us to push into these highs, which is obviously the bigger move. So that's what I'll be after for pound yen. So it's a nice potential short could be forming. No real confirmation here on the hourly. Momentum is slowing down, but no real confirmation of momentum changing yet. But yeah, if the higher time frames win, which I believe they probably will, I'll be expecting us to head to 165, 166. Are you in a trade right now? No, I just exited pound CAD. just exited pound CAD. I was in excuse me, I was in pound CAD on Monday. Nice little entry off this candlestick formation there. Really nice little candlestick there coming to that resistance. So I was short with this one, looking for a pushback down to these lows. So that was my full target. First target was this key level of support, which is where, as you can see, the market has reversed. So I did bank some nice partials here, and I went to break even. So price has pretty much just taken me out a couple of hours ago. So yeah, currently not in any positions at the moment. Was in pound CAD, but yeah, nothing at the moment. Few pairs I am looking at to get involved. USD Cad, I'm seeing if you can form a lower high. AJPY, I'm seeing if you can form a higher low. I'm also looking at Euro Pound, see if you can form, or just missed that level. I'm seeing if you can retest that level to get a short. I'm also seeing what CAD Yen does for potential buys or sells, depending if you break or hold that resistance. So yeah, there's a few pairs I've got my eyes on, but nothing concrete just yet. 20 pips is okay. Yeah, if 20 pips is okay, then yeah, it's a good short. If 20 pips is what you're looking for, then yeah, good little short. Could probably even ride it to, excuse me, probably even see a move. Oh, my throat's a bit dry. Could probably see a move, even to that level there. Which is around 162.778, and that's still around 36 pips. So yeah, if it's 20 pips you're looking for, then perfect. A little push into that area there. That's still 30 pips. But yeah, as a bit more of a swing trader, I'm just going to be waiting for that next swing to settle. Okay, AJPY has seen some strong downside. Okay, I'm looking to see if we can hold onto that support. If we break through, that will invalidate the setup. Same with NZJPY and USDJPY as well. USDJPY is still pushing though. 80 CAD tumbled big time. Okay, so yeah, 80 CAD still looking at a push back down to these lows here. Looking to see if we can probably continue a little bit further, form a lower high, and then drop something like that. Coming back into the resistance here, that would be nice. Really nice swing there. 280. Yeah, 80 CAD doesn't have a lot of pips about it. Still, 280 is still decent though. Yeah, so that's really what I'm looking for. Going to see how these pairs get on. I'll let you guys know if I do get any opportunities in my Telegram. So if you want to check out my Telegram, link to that in the description down below. I do post my setups, my watch lists there as well, so feel free to check that out. My target is 162.901. $162.901. Okay, so over there. Okay, so yeah, it's not far at all. So yeah, that could be a nice little push there. I mean, momentum is slowing down, so I would actually favor that little push to happen, to be fair. We've seen our first push, retracement, second push, expecting us to come into the next kind of retracement, kind of cycle, and us to retrace the downside. So yeah, 162.901 basically looks pretty good into the low of that candle. So yeah, fair play. I mean, again, it's always perspective and different styles, because some people are looking for long, some people are looking for short, but it's also about what you're looking for in the market. If you're looking for 10 pips, you're looking for 100 pips. Completely two different styles, completely do different ways to trade really. Which is all interesting, all adds to the game. My analysis says USD sell. Can anyone confirm? I don't think anyone can confirm it, as no one actually knows where your USD will go. But I can take a look for you. So yeah, Euro USD, we've seen some nice downsides. We're back into this range here. Highs of the range up there, lows of the range down there. Price has seen some upside yesterday. Hey, thank you, very much appreciated. Much appreciated. But yeah, Euro USD seen some upside. We're struggling to push higher here. We are struggling to push higher. Well, to be fair, price kind of just consolidating really. Wicks galore to either side. So I reckon that a lower time frame short would look good. So like if we can break underneath the structure here, retest it, sells back down to lows would look good. But I'm not really looking to sell Euro USD or whatnot because we're trading in the low of this kind of area. This is the range I've got in the 4H. That's my 50% level there. So predominantly, this is buyer's territory and that's seller's territory. So I don't want to be buying low. I don't want to be selling low and buying high. I want to be predominantly buying here and predominantly selling up there. So I'm not really entertaining any sales, but from a lower time frame bias, again, the 4H structure and what's going on in the 4H probably doesn't concern you too much. So yeah, if we can break out of that range there, that hourly range, probably see a nice little push to the downside, something like that. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing really for Euro USD. Quite messy though. USD news at 1:30. Careful. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. And at 7 as well. FOMC minutes at 7 London time. So yeah, do be careful. That 1:30 news is in about an hour and 40 minutes. So do watch out for that. But yeah, we do have some US news coming out later at FOMC. So I can imagine the dollars are going to be a little bit of up and down today. So yeah, if you do get into any trades, maybe look to manage them, maybe exit them by that FOMC news later today. And if you are going to still be in your trades, then maybe look to try and squeeze a little break even somewhere, or take some profit off the table, because things could change quite quickly. But yeah, you definitely are correct. There is some news coming out later, Carol. There is some news. Quite a lot of news this week actually. I was having a look yesterday. We've got some dollar news later. We have FOMC at 7. We have some AUD unemployment rate 2:30 in the morning later. Then we have some more US news at 1:30 tomorrow and at 3 as well. And then we've got on Friday we've got some pound news at 7 in the morning. Then we finish it off with some CAD news in the afternoon. So pretty much every day there is something going on. So it's a little bit all over the shop with the news, but again, I don't really look too much into it. I'm just following my technicals. If my technicals say buy, I'm buying. If my technicals say sell, I'm selling. How long have you been trading? I've been trading for about almost over 5 years, but I've been fully focusing on trading for about 4 years. So yeah, because my first kind of year or so, I wasn't really, I was doing much, but I wasn't really like trying to do anything really. It was just having interest, having fun. Wasn't really trying to learn it, as a skill. But the following 4 years after that is when I properly got busy. So yeah, first introduced over 5 years now actually, so quite a long time actually, quite a long time. But yeah guys, we are coming up to the end of the stream in the next kind of 7 minutes or so. So if there's any pairs you want me to take a look at before I do wrap up things on the stream, please be sure to leave it in the chat, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, I've got 12 years under my belt so far. Wow, Rib, that is crazy. 12 years, damn. That is a long time. Fair play, you're a bit of a veteran of the game. Do you trade Forex then? Do you trade Forex or yeah, what markets do you trade? Okay, so pound CAD still needs to push a little bit higher. Pound USD not doing too much there. Pound yen still flirting with that resistance. How's AJY looking? It's holding on to that support, but I need a little bit more than that. And finally, USD Cad still trading at that area there as well, but again, I need to see if we can hold it. The candle's about to close in 4 minutes, so yeah, as long as we don't break through, I'm looking at the next candle, maybe giving us a nice little confirmation there, and then yeah, some nice little sells to the downside. But we'll see. We could break through the resistance and change everything. Okay, I've got. What do you think about Roger Banks? I don't really know. I don't really know Roger Banks. I mean, I've seen a couple of his live streams, but that's about it. So I don't really have too much, thoughts or opinions on him. I mean, he looks like a decent trader, to be fair. And yeah, that's all I got to say really. I don't really know too much about it. I haven't really seen, I've seen a couple of his live streams, but yeah. I think he's been around for a while as well, so yeah, that's always a good sign. Yep, I only trade Euro USD. I can trade anything, but Euro USD is the leader of everything in the streamers don't even talk about it. Really? No one talks about Euro USD? I mean, I suppose so, because like Euro USD is not really seen as the big kind of pit mover like pound yen, gold, US 30. You know, those are quite volatile. They're up and down moving, so everyone's excited about those. About those markets. But Euro USD, it's almost like the market that everyone starts with. So they're like, okay, I've done Euro USD. Now I'm going to move on to a more exciting pair. So I see why people do that, because like pound yen is a very big popular pair. Gold is very, very popular. But in terms of price action, Euro USD and pound USD for me are like the best in terms of the way I trade. Euro USD and pound USD have always performed the best for me. But yeah, I think it's just not exciting enough. That's why people don't really talk about it anymore. It's just not exciting enough. Do you trade the low time frames? No, I don't. The lowest I go really is hourly. Sometimes on rare occasion I'll drop to 30-minute. But yeah, hourly is the lowest I go really, because I do have a wide range of pairs which I create a watch list from. So I kind of like holding my trades for a swing perspective. 3 to 5 days, kind of my average hold time. So going into the low time frames is a little bit too strenuous for me. It's too much effort for what I'm looking to do. Hourly time frame and above is just fine for me. So yeah, I don't really go on the low time frames. I like the hourly because it's not too fast, it's not too slow. It's like a bit of Goldilocks, best of both worlds, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, for the swings that I'm trying to catch, lower time frames, yes, I suppose they'll be good because you can really maximize risk to reward, but you have to compromise at some point. So yeah, I don't really trade lower than that. Is there any trade? At the moment, for me, no. There's a few pairs I've got my eyes on, which are trading some key areas, and I just need to see if I can get some confirmations from them. And so far, nothing. So I'll be waiting. AJPY, Usd Cad are kind of the two pairs I'm kind of focused on. Pound CAD, I'll see if I can get some more entries back up there again. I'm out of this trade currently, but I'll see what we can do up there at 1.562. But yeah, Usd Cad, I'm seeing if we can hold that as resistance. We'll slowly just creep my head above that. See how we close the next 30 seconds. AJ still holding that support, so I want to see some strong momentum coming to the upside, or if not, we're slowly going to leak through this and continue to the downside. And I'm only looking for buys at the moment, So I want to see some real buyers come back in for this boy and some sellers step back in there. At the moment, not seeing either which one. So at the moment, no setups for me. Just have to sit on the old hands right now. Pound USD is really flying. Okay, so is 3. Yeah, it's kind of wasting my time a little bit there. So yeah, we'll see how these get on. I'm going to come to the end of the stream now, so I will be looking to wrap up things. But yeah, see how they close. AJ. Okay, so I closed at the support, but nothing yet, so need to wait to see if we can get the confirmation. USD Cad closed slightly above, not a good sign there. How's dollar looking? Dollar's still struggling at that resistance, so dollar I'm still bearish on as long as we hold that resistance. If we break through, then I do think dollar can go a lot further to the upside. So that's really where I'm going to be focusing on dollar. But yeah, USD Cad breaking through that, so it'll be interesting to see what our next move is. But yeah, nothing there just yet. So yeah, guys, coming to the end of the stream, I will be live again tomorrow, like usual. So I hope I do see all of you there back again. Be there or be square. If I do get any setups, I'll post it on my Telegram. So feel free to go and check that out if you want to. Links to that in the description. And also, if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link there to IC Markets. Feel free to use the link if you want to. If you want to check out the broker, IC Markets has been used for the past couple of years. No issues with them. So go check that out if you want to. But yeah, guys, come to the end of the stream. Hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like on the video, to show that you guys actually have enjoyed the video, and it does obviously help the channel out as well. So I do really appreciate that. If you haven't done already, subscribe, join the family. Everyone is welcome. I will be live again same time as usual, Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. London time. To discuss, if I get any trades going, analysis, live market, see what's happening next. And I will be posting a video on Friday about crypto, especially about Ethereum, of what my next prediction, what the next move I see happening for that market. So be sure to check that out if you are interested in crypto or Ethereum, or just interested to see what my prediction is. But yeah, guys, I will be wrapping up and closing the stream. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Have a great day, and yeah, stay safe. And also do have FOMC later, so make sure you do manage risk. But yeah, guys, stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.